very good day to all of you. I am Xavier and I'm representing my group to introduce this topic. We are students from River Valley High School doing a project on Singapore's memories. My group also comprises of Cheng Ting and Teo Ao, who will be your presenters for the other videos. As you can see in this slide, our series is titled Reliving the Old Singapore. Through this series, we hope to be able to bring you back to the old Singapore. As you can see, we'll be covering first the introduction to the series, the definition of memories, and each of the individual categories of memories, which are monuments, social behavior, arts, and religion. As all of you know, Singapore is a very young nation. Because of this, it is extremely important that we build a strong culture through memories to ensure our national unity. Furthermore, memories make our lives much more interesting and enriching. What would it be like living in a Singapore without any memories? That would be like living in a city full of urban development but with no uniqueness, and us Singaporeans lose our identity. Hence, this series aims to instill a sense of awareness and appreciation in all of you so that we be bonded as Singaporeans. So I would first like to introduce the concept of memories. Before I start on that, I would like to introduce the definition of memories. As you can see, memories are defined as, according to Oxford Dictionary, as something remembered from the past. Memories here refer to tangible and intangible memories of Singapore. Memories are extremely important since a lot of urban development has been taking over all these memories, and such memories should be preserved. Memories can come in many categories, and now I'll be presenting on the first category, which is monuments. So, monuments physically remind us of Singapore's memories, and it's one of the tangible memories in Singapore. According to Oxford Dictionary, monuments is considered as a building, structure or site that is of historical importance or interest. So, I will be first presenting on the House of Tanglin. The House of Tanglin is located on 101 Penang Road, close to the National Park. What is the significance of this house, you ask? Fully detached Chinese houses were rare in old Singapore. In fact, according to 100 years of the Chinese in Singapore, there were only 3 other Singapore-style homes built towards the end of the 19th century, which are no longer standing today, except for this very house. So if this house is gone, we will truly lose our Chinese roots, and this is the only last house that can express our Chinese roots and culture. Hence, it is important that it is preserved so that Singapore does not lose our rich Chinese culture. To summarize the beginning of this house, Tanglin was born in 1827, and he was a Chaozhou businessman, became very rich as he came to Singapore as a young man and started to trade as a cloth peddler. By 1866, he had established himself as a successful pepper and gambia planter in Johor, and was even made Captain China of the state. He had decided to build a house in traditional Chinese-style architecture. This house is a typical Southern Chinese residential mansion, and is designed aligned with Feng Shui, which is a Chinese auspician. It became a national monument in 1974. Here's a fun fact. When the Tank Road Railway Station opened in 1902, the house was said to have become the station master's residence. In fact, the ownership of the house has switched hands many times. It was owned by the Salvation Army and the church, just to name a few. Now, I'll be talking about the former Ford factory. The former Ford factory is located at 351 Upper Bukit Timah Road, close to Romo. The significance of this factory is that Singapore was seen as the impenetrable fortress of Southeast Asia, and the British wanted to use Singapore to halt the Japanese in the tracks. However, a few months later, the British in Singapore suffered a humiliating defeat. It was, and still is, considered one of the greatest defeats of the British Army. It proved that the Japanese Army was truly a force to be reckoned with. Hence, the fall of Singapore is an important part of World War II history, and since the official surrender of Singapore was held inside this very factory, the factory serves as a very important commemoration of this important event. In a nutshell, Ford moved to new premises on October 1941, which is this factory, from the original factory in Anson Road. It was the first motor car assembly plant in Southeast Asia. Lieutenant General Yamashita of the Japanese Army moved his headquarters here to the former Ford factory during the Battle of World War II. During the Japanese occupation, the factory was used for servicing of army vehicles and Nissan trucks. After the war until 1947, it was used to service and repair British military vehicles. It ceased operations in 1980 and it was gazetted a national monument in 2008. Fun fact, the British lost the Woodlands High Ground overlooking the causeway, which was a key to the northern defences due to a serious misunderstanding of the emergency orders of British General Percival. It led to the withdrawing of the Australians when they were not supposed to. Now, I will hand the time over to Jing Xuan, who will be presenting on social behavior, which is the second category. Thank you for listening.